We need to talk about a war that's happening right now. It's not being fought with guns or tanks, but with code and algorithms. It's a digital arms race between those using AI for crime and those using AI to stop them. And you know what? The front line, it's a lot closer than you think.
So let's just imagine this for a second. Your phone rings. You look down, you recognize the number. It's someone you love, a family member. Of course, you answer, and you hear their voice sounding exactly like they always do.
But right away, you know something's wrong. Their voice is filled with panic, maybe it's cracking, maybe they're crying. They tell you there's been an accident or they're in jail, and they need you to send money. Right now. Your heart drops. Every single instinct is screaming at you to help them.
But what if it's not? What if that voice, so familiar, so full of terror, was completely generated by a machine? An AI that learned how to mimic them perfectly from just a few seconds of audio it found in a video on their social media. I know, it sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's not. This is the new reality of the AI arms race.
So, you have to be asking, how on earth did we get here? How did this kind of technology get so powerful and, more importantly, so easy to get a hold of? Well, the answer lies in something of an open secret in the world of AI developments.
It all kicks off with this problem that people in the know call open washing. And this quote from lead dev just hits the nail on the head. The term open source, well, when it comes to AI, it doesn't always mean what we think it means. And that confusion, that gray area, has basically thrown the door wide open for this tech to be twisted and misused.
So open washing creates this real messy gray area. An AI model might be totally free to download, but buried in the license are all these hidden rules about how you can use it or who is allowed to use it. And that ambiguity, well, that's the perfect breeding ground for bad actors to start experimenting.
Okay, this slide really breaks it down. On one side, you have the ideal. The Open Source Initiative, the OSI, they have a really clear definition. True open source means everything. The code, the model, the training data, it's all free for anyone to use, study, and share. But then, there's the reality. So many popular models that are called open come with all these strings attached. Like Meta's Llama 2, for instance, says huge companies can't use it. And this isn't just some boring technical detail, it's a massive loophole. And this confusing middle ground is exactly where all the risk starts to creep in.
So because there's this lack of clarity and control, we've seen an absolute explosion of new AI tools that are built for one reason and one reason only: crime. And they're sold on the dark web just like you'd buy any other software subscription.
I mean, just look at this. This isn't some kid in a basement. Research from Outpost 24 shows us that these tools, like WormGPT and FraudGPT, they're being sold with professional-looking pricing plans. For less than $100 a month, any criminal can get their hands on an AI that has been specifically designed with zero ethical boundaries. It's ready to write malicious code or craft the perfect scam email at a moment's notice. Okay, so let's walk through how an attack like this actually works. It all starts with what's basically social engineering on steroids. An AI like WormGPT can whip up a phishing email that's not just free of typos, but it's also deeply personalized to its victim, which makes it incredibly, dangerously convincing. And then comes the next step, vishing. That's voice phishing. The scammer uses that public audio we talked about earlier, maybe from a speech on the company website or a podcast interview. They use it to clone the voice of someone the target trusts, like their boss. And suddenly, the scam has this whole new layer of urgency and authority.
The final piece of the puzzle is the trap. Cybersecurity experts have found entire campaigns, which they're calling web fake, where AI generates these pixel-perfect replicas of trusted websites. Think your bank's login page or your company's internal portal, all designed for one thing: to steal your credentials. When you step back and look at it, every single part of the attack is powered up and perfected by AI.
But here's the thing. This is not a one-sided fight. Not at all. For every malicious AI tool out there, there's a defensive AI being built to fight back. The very same technology that's powering the attack, it's also being used to build a better shield. And companies like Sardine and SockRadar are building out this incredible defense arsenal. Their platforms are looking way beyond the old-school red flags. They analyze something called behavioral biometrics, which is basically your digital fingerprint. You know, the unique way you type, the speed you move your mouse. These systems can spot the tiny digital clues left behind by deepfakes and cloned voices, and they do it all while constantly scanning the dark web for the next big threat.
And are these tools any good? Well, get this. Pindrop Security is reporting a jaw-dropping 99% accuracy rate at spotting these AI-generated fake voices, and they can do it in real time.
That just shows you the power of fighting fire with fire, or in this case, fighting AI with smarter AI.
And the real-world impact is just massive. A financial tech company called Novo saw fraudulent chargebacks plummet by a staggering 90% after they brought in Sardine's AI platform. So this shows that defensive AI, it's not just some cool tech, it's protecting the entire financial system.
Okay, so this incredible technological arms race is sparking a really tough conversation all over the world. How do you possibly regulate a technology that can be both a weapon and a shield at the same time? And that brings us to the super complex world of global governance.
Now, the main international group for this is called the Wassenaar Arrangement. It's a pact between 42 countries that was originally set up after the Cold War to control the sale of weapons and so-called dual-use technologies. Back in 2013, they updated it to include things like spyware. But lately, the whole arrangement has just hit a brick wall. Russia has been blocking any proposals to add controls on AI, which has created this Wassenaar -1 standoff. It's forcing all the other countries to just make up their own rules, which completely undermines the whole point of having a unified global plan.
And even inside our own justice systems, the path forward is anything but clear. A big report from the Council on Criminal Justice just lays out this fundamental problem. On the one hand, yeah, AI could potentially help us remove human bias and make our justice system more efficient. But on the other hand, if you train that same AI on flawed, biased data, it could just amplify those very same biases, creating a super high-tech version of the same old problems. It's a huge dilemma. So, with governments and global organizations kind of struggling to keep up with the pace of all this, what can you actually do? This is where we bring it all the way back home, to our own personal digital security.
Look, here are 3 simple but incredibly powerful steps that you can put into action, like today. First, create a family code word, something really simple that a scammer would have no way of knowing. Second, if you ever get one of those frantic, high-pressure calls, just hang up, and then call the person back on the number you already have saved for them. And third, just be more mindful of your digital voice footprint. The fewer public audio clips there are of you and your family online, the less raw material these scammers have to work with.
Which leaves us with one final and really critical question. As the criminals upgrade their tools and the defenders upgrade their shields, we're locked in this constant cycle of escalation. In this strange new world we're building, is the only real lasting way to fight bad AI to build even better AI? It's a question we're all going to have to answer, and probably a lot sooner than we think.